Eats. The restaurant is called Khue's Kitchen. Eric, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Can you believe where you are today, considering where you were a year ago?
Absolutely not. A year ago, I was ready. Honestly, there were talks. I was in talks of getting back open, but I won't lie. A large portion of my brain was ready to maybe go back to college, hang it up. Because the fire to this day is probably my greatest failure. And like one of the biggest embarrassments of my life of just like, I understand it wasn't my fault. It could happen to anyone. And it's just a disaster that, you never think it's going to be you until it is. But in that moment, when you watch your dreams sort of crumble, you just are eternally humbled. And you're just like, I don't know if this is for me. If all the work I put in for the last quarter of my life was just for nothing. So no, this is a gift to be here today and to cook food for everybody and also be recognized for it. It's incredible. Honestly, a dream come true.
Why do you blame yourself for the fire? It was while the restaurant was under construction.
Yeah, I don't blame myself for like the actual fire happening. I guess I just, maybe it's a cultural thing of taking ownership of your failures and your shortcomings and owning it, even if even if it's not your fault. That's something I learned in kitchens. That's something I learned from my family. It's just, if it's nobody's fault, then how are you going to move forward? I would rather take the fault, move forward, be like, my bad, guys, let's go. Like, let's get back up or have some level of reflection. Because it was like, as much as it was soul crushing that night, it was equally embarrassing calling all my staff that had quit their jobs, getting ready to come on board with me, all the purveyors that I talked to and all the contracts that were signed for, POS systems, like all these people that had a hand in helping me open this restaurant and being like, sorry, it's not going to happen. As a fire, but it's also just like, I'm not saying it from the fire's perspective. I'm saying it from my perspective. Like, I can't deliver.
I can't wait to talk more about Khue's Kitchen because it makes me so happy to see the Star Tribune recognizing you. I wrote about you in Minnesota Monthly earlier this summer. But I think our listeners need to know where you came from before they can really understand what you're doing. You are 25 years old?
Yes.
And you grew up in the family that built probably our city's most iconic and legendary Vietnamese restaurant, Quang, or people call it Quang, whatever.
I mean, call it either or. As long as you come in to eat, we don't care.
That, your family's attitude about that issue, I think, really is emblematic of sort of the overall ethos that your mom and your family has brought to the business.
Yeah, I mean, people call my restaurant Khue's Kitchen, even though
Khue.
Yeah, even though it's pronounced Quay's. I mean, I understand everyone wants to get the name right, but at the heart of all of us in the family, it's just we just want you to come eat. That's all that matters to us, and doesn't matter how you get there. We just want you to eat. Just the same way as like when I watch people use chopsticks at our restaurant, it's just, I don't care the way your hand looks. Just get it into your mouth. It'll be okay. Just come in and eat. That's all that matters for us.
Well, I think that attitude is part of why so many people have resonated with your restaurant. But you grew up in inside Quang. What are some of your earliest memories in that restaurant?
Man, I think I can remember back to when I was around 5 years old. It was my older brother Matt, my older cousin Nikki, and then the same age as me, my cousin Andrew. There's four of us. So whenever a guest tells me they've been eating at Quang for 30 plus years, I tell them at some point you saw some kids running around. Quang at that age wasn't a restaurant to us. It was daycare. It was a place for our parents needed to work, let the kids run around. And I remember playing on top of file cabinets, running through that entire, it's in a like strip mall building, running through that entire thing, going business to business that were in there at that time. We used to have popsicles for sale when I was younger. The reason they got rid of them is because us 4 kids would eat all the popsicles and there was no more left for them to sell. And we would only leave the coconut ones because none of us liked coconut at the time. No, Kwang for me growing up it wasn't a restaurant. I never really thought of it as a restaurant or a place of business or a job or work until I was 12 or 13 when I actually started working there.
Your first job was
Kwang.
Yeah. Runner? Were you runner, dishwasher?
Yeah, I mean, to bridge on the point, Kwang is probably the only job I've ever had outside of Spoon and Stable. Like there was no reason to get a summer job in high school. There was no reason to go work at a coffee shop when the family restaurant was right there ready to throw you into the ring. At 12, 13 years old, all the parents of Kwang, all the aunts and uncles, my mom and dad were like, you guys are so spoiled rotten. You're going to know what it's like to, get your hands dirty and work for your money. You guys just have this expectation that your Christmas gifts are going to show up, and now it's time for you to understand and mature a little bit. So they threw us in, and yeah, I landed I was good at being a busboy. I like to think I was pretty good. But no, they had us at 12, 13, they had us hosting, busboy, like stacking waters, getting the water jugs ready, making bubble teas, making sure you don't, lose your finger on the sealer, stuff like that. All the supporting role jobs. That's where we started.
And that didn't scare you away from staying in restaurants?
I wouldn't say scare. I think in that moment, I don't know why it just clicked for me, but I just remember caring so much more. I don't think I was ever motivated in another area in my life like that, where, when I stacked waters, I would make sure the handles face the same way. This is, at a young age, and I would stack them so that they lined up, and when I bust tables, I would make sure that the plates in the bin were stacked correctly. And according to each plate, the sauce containers were in their own spot. The big plates and the bowls were in their own spot. So for me, what Kwang taught me in that moment wasn't about the restaurant, but simply caring. About your craft, about what you're doing and the time you're spending a little bit more than just, I'm here to make money. Because at the time, I wasn't making that much. I was making a lot for a 13-year-old, though. It was great. $30 a day. That's in 2 days, that's a video game. So I was loving it. I was loving it.
It is true. There is something about that when you start young. My youngest son started working at a Vietnamese restaurant in our suburb of Minneapolis when he was 15, doing dishwashing, busing, running, expoing, all of that. And I saw that same thing where he was motivated. Yeah, the money was crazy when you're 15,
mm-hmm.
but it was really more about learning how to do something and learning how to care.
Yeah, and I think that's instrumental. And I think that's why a lot of parents recommend that their kids go into hospitality at a younger age, just to get in the mindset of working with your hands and having that interpersonal.
And it matters. This stuff matters.
Yes, and on top of that, not only did I just naturally care a little bit more, I think there was something about caring about the family name and carrying that forward of, if you make a mistake, it's not, this is just some restaurant. This is my family restaurant. This is my family name. If something bad happens, it's my fault, but then it reflects poorly on my parents. It reflects poorly on my aunts and uncles, on my grandma. So, you go a little bit that extra mile to eliminate any of those liabilities. I don't want someone to not get ice in their water sometimes. I'm going to be on top of it. You just care so much. And I see that in my cousins and my brothers when we were working there. I don't know what it was. You just care about the family, and you don't, I think that's why a lot of my aunts and uncles still work there to that day of if you don't show up to work, you're effectively screwing over your sister or your brother or your cousin. And, that's a different feeling. That's a different level.
Pretty amazing conversation with Chef Eric Pham from Khue's Kitchen. And we're going to upload a whole podcast for you because Eric starts with where he was. And then we go on to talk about where he is now. Khue's Kitchen, which has been just booking reservations like gangbusters since this Sunday's Minnesota Star Tribune named him the best new restaurant of the year. Lots more excellent conversation on the DeRusha Eats podcast. So if you are a podcast fan, subscribe to DeRusha Eats, and this will show up in your podcast app tomorrow. We'll break in just a minute. Drive time back with National Chocolate Dip. And do we have too many days? We may have too many days. DeRusha Eats in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, the pork chop at Khue's Kitchen is one of the many standout items there. Taste what pork can do. That's what we're talking about thanks to the support of the Minnesota Pork Board, 3,000 family farmers. I'm so grateful for their support, and I'm so grateful for what they do for Minnesota. Now, we love to shop local. And this time of year, when you're gathering the family around the table, maybe you're celebrating on Christmas Day with a ham. Maybe you're celebrating ahead of time with, pork shoulder and adobo. Maybe you're using Vietnamese flavors to go ahead and liven up some pork tenderloin. So many options for you. And if you're a little stuck in a rut, go to tastewhatporkcando.com. That's a great way to find recipe inspiration. That's where I go to find new ideas, new flavor combinations. You go to your grocery store, your butcher shop, though, right now, pork is packed with protein. It is delicious, and it is priced right as well, which I know we're all watching those dollars. So get the grocery store, the butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
The holidays will be here soon.
And whether you've been coming to Thielen Meats and Piers for generations
or looking to start a new family tradition,
you'll want to put us on your holiday wish list.
We're the #1 meat market in Minnesota.
We add those melt-in-your-mouth moments to your holiday celebration.
High-quality meats that keep our customers coming back for more.
That's why we've become a holiday tradition for so many folks.
No meal's complete without Thielen Meats
Of Piers.
Hey, Minnesota fans, it's Benita. I'm out at the Verizon store in Woodbury, located at 245 Radio Drive until 6 o'clock today. Come say hi, talk football, and show your Minnesota pride. Plus, you could win great prizes when you're out here. Don't miss the fun. Join us today until 6 at the Verizon store in Woodbury, 245 Radio Drive. Verizon, your ticket to Minnesota football.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen! So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. You could find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow. Billshappen.com is safe, secure, and all online. Just remember, when you need cash, go to billshappen.com. Billshappen.com for the cash you need now. Billshappen.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic is brought to you by American Rare Coin and Collectibles. Find them at AmericanRareCoinandCollectibles.com. Still having problems up there on 694 eastbound. A crash was reported at White Bear Avenue and right around County Road 65. Expect a 15-minute delay up there. 610 eastbound at Zachary Lane and 169 in Brooklyn Park. An accident causing things to back up. That starts at West Broadway. When a loved one passes or it's time to settle in a state, the valuables left behind can feel overwhelming. At American Rare Coin and Collectibles in Bloomington, we help navigate these moments with clarity and care. Peace of mind starts with your appointment. AmericanRareCoinAndCollectibles.com. That's a look at the drive. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get the perfect holiday gift. Chanhassen Dinner Theater's gift cards never expire and can be used for any show. White Christmas, the concert series, Stevie Ray's Comedy Cabaret, or coming soon, the high-rolling musical spectacular Guys and Dolls. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, what a weird day, right? It was warm. It was the warmest day since late November. A forecast brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Get the perfect gift at chanhassendt.com. Tonight, we only get to 22. That's pretty warm, since the average high is 28. Tomorrow, the high is 38. Going to be raining by the evening. Thursday, the temperatures fall throughout the day. The low will be 2. So Thursday is not going to be real pleasant, even though the high temperature will be like 30. Dropping all day. Gross. Right now, beautiful. You know what? Put on a T-shirt. It's 40 on CCO.
This is News Talk 830 WCCO. Broadcasting live from the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Studio. Single game tickets are on sale now at worldjuniorsmn26.com.
I think just about everything is better when it's dipped in chocolate. Just about everything. Not everything, Dan. I've had some things dipped in chocolate. Today, by the way, is National Chocolate Dipped Anything Day, which is ridiculous. Like, it's objectively ridiculous.
Kind of seems that way,
right?
But, we all love chocolate for the most part, so why not? What did you have that was dipped in chocolate that was bad?
Jalapeno. Raw jalapeno.
That one's kind of on you.
Well, it was at the state fair. It was not on me. I had to do it for my job as a food critic.
No, you didn't.
Well,
you knew that was a bad idea going in.
Well, it could have been good if they had maybe grilled the jalapeno a little bit or done anything or used good chocolate. Could have been good. Where are you on fruit dipped chocolate?
No.
You never had a strawberry dipped in chocolate?
No.
Oh, nothing more romantic.
Not interested.
Banana?
Nope.
A nice frozen banana with a chocolate
Not
covered?
interested.
Oh. Chocolate covered. What about chocolate covered nuts?
Yeah, peanuts, almonds, I'm in for that.
That you're in. Raisins?
No, raisins are failed grapes. I'm with Chad on
How
that.
about espresso beans? I like a chocolate covered espresso bean. Is that too fancy?
That's a little much for me.
Pretzels? Yes.
Sure.
My favorite is on the National Day Calendar website. There is a section on how to observe chocolate covered anything day. I feel like we got this. We got this one. We don't need the how to. DeRUSH Hour News Headlines straight ahead.
Owning a big home is a lot of work. It might have been worth it when your family was younger, but if your kids have moved out, you probably thought about downsizing to a home that would take way less maintenance. It's Vanita here. If you want to sell it fast and for the most money possible, hire my buddy, the good neighbor agent, John Schuster. Catherine hired the John Schuster Group with Coldwell Banker Realty to sell her home. She interviewed a few agents. John's experience really stood out to her. So did that marketing system of his that I always tell you about. It reaches thousands of potential home buyers every single day. When you hire John, you never have to worry about being that neighbor who tries and fails to sell their home for months on end. Catherine definitely wasn't that neighbor. Her home got 4 offers in 4 days. Curious what your home is worth? Find out in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Proud to be the voice of the Twin Cities, Minnesota, and the Upper Midwest. This is News Talk 830 WCCO, 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Los Angeles authorities announced charges today in the deaths of director Rob Reiner and his wife.
Today, I'm here to announce that our office will be filing charges against Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents.
Reiner is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder using a knife. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti has more.
The motive at this point, still unclear, but we do have a better sense of the timeline. Police earlier today confirming Rob and Michelle Reiner were discovered in their master bedroom Sunday afternoon. It implies perhaps that this attack happened in the early morning as they were asleep. And why this matters, Nick Reiner was last seen with his parents the night before, Saturday night, at a house party, a holiday party, where, according to sources, there was some kind of heated argument that took place.
The charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison or the death penalty. No decision has been made on the death penalty. Authorities in Providence, Rhode Island, released another video showing a person of interest in the shootings there over the weekend. No arrests have been made. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio briefed lawmakers today on the strikes against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. Lawmakers had mixed reviews. Senator Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal.
Is it the policy to take Maduro down? It should be if it's not. And if he goes, what's going to happen next? I'd like a better answer.
This briefing left me with more questions than answers.
The Trump administration is expanding its travel ban, as Linda Kenyon reports.
The administration is including 5 more countries, as well as people traveling on documents issued by the Palestinian Authority, to the list of nations already facing a full ban on travel to the U.S. In addition, the administration is imposing new limits on 15 other countries. The latest to be banned include Mali, South Sudan, and Syria. It's uncertain when these new restrictions will go into effect.
Members of the Trump administration rushed to defend Chief of Staff Susie Wiles after a Vanity Fair article in which she criticized Attorney General Pam Bondi for her handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case and said the president has an alcoholic's personality. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
These are the kinds of comments a chief of staff often gives to an author or a reporter to save under embargo until after they leave the job or until after the presidency. They don't normally give them in real time. And that's what's interesting here. That's what's so remarkable about her decision to sit for these interviews. But so far, as of this hour at least, she still has the support of the White House.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial's off more than 300 points. The NASDAQ was higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy skies, 41 degrees at 5:03. I'm Susie Jones. The hour's top story: a 16-year-old is in custody after police say he posted a threatening message on social media, forcing the closure of several schools in Dakota County today. Apple Valley Police releasing a statement saying they have been working diligently to investigate the threat, and an extensive investigation led to the execution of a search warrant in the city of Eagan. As a result, they say detectives identified and arrested a 16-year-old male believed to be responsible for the threats. Some parents expressing frustration about the lack of what they called inadequate information released.
Were we not given more details on the incident? We were given a very vague email, no text message, no call. And why were the elementary and middle school children not prioritized as well? Why was their safety not a threat?
Police say they found no weapons during the search of the teen's home. He is being held at the Dakota County Juvenile Detention Center awaiting formal charges. Governor Walz issuing 2 new executive orders today trying to stop gun violence in Minnesota.
One order pushes for better awareness of red flag laws and promotes safe gun storage.
The other is a data-focused public health measure, which forces insurance companies to share data on the financial cost of gun violence. Critics, including local gun lobbyists, are calling the move an unconstitutional power grab. Walz says this is a response to a year marked by significant gun violence across the state, including attacks on lawmakers and the shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in South Minneapolis.
It does do something. It does make a difference. And to stand here and have to look in the eyes of parents who lost their little ones, shame on them. And shame on us if we don't get this done.
At the state capitol, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hennepin County Sheriff Dewana Witt speaking out after an ICE raid in South Minneapolis yesterday. Federal agents clashed with protesters near Pillsbury and Lake Street. At one point, the Department of Homeland Security called 911 saying they were under attack.
I got officers getting attacked. They're surrounded and they're being attacked. We only have a few officers, but we have, what did they say, 60 to 70 agitators that are fighting them, and we need help.
The sheriff told WCCO's Adam and Jordana what happened next.
We went there. We did not find in our presence, we didn't see anything like that. Once they cleared, we cleared.
These unpredictable ICE raids are striking fear among immigrants trying to make a living in Minneapolis.
Hispanic and Somali-owned supermarkets, flower shops, and restaurants in Minneapolis are taking a major hit while ICE activity continues in the area. Daniel Hernandez owns Colonial Markets.
We used to sell 100%. Now we only sell 15%. 15%.
Mayor Jacob Fry says ICE raids aren't as violent when Minneapolis police or other local law enforcement agencies are present. He cautions that local police can't be everywhere at once, and they can only control how they themselves can react during ICE raids. In South Minneapolis, Al Schock, News Talk 830 WCCO.
WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are congested on 94 headed east. That slowdown starts at Highway 100 that runs all the way through to the tunnel. 610 eastbound at Zachary Lane and 169 up in Brooklyn Park. There's an accident causing things to back up. That starts at West Broadway. That's a look at traffic. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage at the best price. Do like I did. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by the Canopy Group. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It stays mild, but we've got some big changes coming our way. Partly cloudy, 22 overnight tonight. Those clouds will increase throughout the day tomorrow. It will be windy again. It will be warm again with a high up around 38. So warm, we'll have rain showers by evening. Should stay rain. Now on Thursday, we'll see a chance of light snow. Most pick up less than an inch. Temperatures plummet throughout the day, and the wind will be very strong, blowing that light snow around.
Right now, we have cloudy skies and 41 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yeah, the penny might be out of circulation, but you can still give your 2 cents right here. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Man, how about the White House Chief of Staff? Is this how you talk about me behind closed doors, Dan Cook?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Susie Wiles. Just like, it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
You feel bad almost in a way because it's like the only thing she can do now, well, it was taken out of context. Well, what context is saying he's got an alcoholic's like personality?
What does that mean exactly? You know?
But it's all she can do, right? I mean.
Yeah, you say it was taken out of context. You say it's a hit job. I think she said that.
Yeah, hit piece. Yeah.
I do think, like, I mean, some of this stuff is pretty amazing. Now, I think a lot of people are saying, well, why sit down with Vanity Fair? Why do the interview with this particular reporter, Chris Whipple. But Chris Whipple is an author who is sort of the chief of staff historian. But you would expect, like, yeah, I'll give you my thoughts in real time, but you got to agree to not publish it until the end.
That's the conventional wisdom, is what was on the record, what wasn't.
Well, clearly what's on the record. They all sat for a photo shoot.
What I'm saying, what was she saying that was, yeah, print this now versus no, you got to hold this till after,
I don't know. I mean, some of this stuff. Now, J.D. Vance, I think, again, like, what J.D. Vance has a keen ability to do.
He is smooth.
So he was sort of playing this off today,
Mm-hmm.
where J.D. Vance, the quote was that he's been a conspiracy theorist for a decade. And today he's like, well, I only believe in the conspiracies that turn out to be true. Pretty good. Pretty good response.
Rhetorically.
And then what the White House has been saying today is like, well, she was talking about the way that he looks at every issue from 20 different directions.
That's not at all what she was saying. But
well, we don't know.
good spin.
If you sat for 11 interviews, you probably said a lot of crap, right? You probably said a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. 11 interviews. Elon Musk, an odd duck. That seems right.
That tracks.
The budget. I mean, most of this stuff, you're like, well, it's not really that. Like, did Pam Bondi completely whiff in handling the Epstein files? Yep. I don't know. Some of this, you're like, yep. I do think in general, the Trump administration is a good exercise in why we don't need to share all our thoughts. I think Donald Trump doesn't, he has some thoughts that maybe would be best only expressed to Melania. I think about this in general, and I understand the hypocrisy of a talk radio host saying that more of you should just zip it. But wasn't society better when we didn't have everybody saying everything that ever comes into your head? There is some honor in filtering your thoughts.
Discretion, better part of valor.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. With that in mind, I'm going to spend the next hour just saying whatever the hell I think, as I usually do on this show. And now we call it the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRush Hour Headlines, starting with the lead.
And let's start with Tafoya Watch. Both the New York Post, FoxNews.com, both reporting about the Michelle Tafoya Watch. Will she or won't she join the Republican field running for Senator Tina Smith's current Senate seat?
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Michelle Tafoya podcast. Today, I'm fired up.
Yeah, bet you are. Michelle Tafoya. Now, the headline on the New York Post says former NFL sideline reporter Michelle Tafoya. Why not former WCCO radio afternoon drive host?
I mean, that's where I met her. So
she had this time slot.
Yep.
And let's be honest, if there's one thing that people who have hosted the 3 to 6 time slot on WCCO radio have in common, it is delusions of grandeur. Don Shelby had this time slot. Tafoya, Paul Douglas, this goofball. Delusions of grandeur are right at home in this time slot. So why not? Michelle Tafoya would be, I mean, at this point, the fact that you have Peggy Flanagan, the lieutenant governor, running on the DFL side. You have Angie Craig running on the DFL side. Two big name, high profile people with electoral success lined up. Republicans have Royce White. The something is coming. What is his bit? The cavalry's coming. We're coming. Here we come. Just like. But if you have Tafoya, all of a sudden, I think you're Now, Michelle Tafoya has been a radio host, a sideline reporter. She's been a podcaster, very vocal on social media, very conservative. But she also, I think, is the archetype of a conservative that could win because she is very conservative and she's not really as obsessed with abortion as previous right-wing candidates have been.
And she's been very involved with local politics for years. And has made no bones about, where her politics lies. And she's always been very open and honest about that. And her name recognition alone would make her a formidable candidate
You would
in
think,
that race,
yeah.
without question.
The Post saying that she's leaning towards running for Senate. The National Republican Senatorial Committee has been recruiting her. She met with the NRSC, the Senate Leadership Fund, and other stakeholders in D.C. last week and is expected to make a final decision early in the new year. In fairness to our friend Blois Olson, he had this in Morning Take last week that you can expect an announcement one way or the other in January. Next up in the lead, an arrest made in a threat that led to Rosemont, Apple Valley, and Eagan public schools all being closed today because of an online threat. TwinCities.com, the Pioneer Press, Mara Gottfried reporting that police arrested a 16-year-old that led to 8 Dakota County high schools closing on Tuesday. They were questioning 2 juveniles in separate social media threats to 2 middle schools. Multi-agency response, as we've been covering today. We'll see if there are charges. Apple Valley Police saying in a statement this afternoon that they will prevent the case, but it's involved a bunch of school districts, a bunch of law enforcement. You think like thousands of students. And with what happened at Brown University and the fact that you still have right now a killer on the loose in that thing, to imagine being a 16-year-old thinking that this was a wise thing to do is head-scratching, to say the least, and so disappointing. These kind of threats are dangerous not only in terms of the mental health of the young people and the teachers who already have enough stress to deal with, but they are also dangerous to you and your family making that threat. Imagine law enforcement shows up, your dad has no idea what's going on, comes to the door with a gun, and next thing you know, you have something like this. So some teenager, this is serious business, and the schools took it seriously as well. 6:45 p.m. last night was when police department got contacted, informed about a bunch of concerning messages posted online. So good on. I mean, this is all of our responsibilities as well to kind of keep an eye on this and call it in. A positive story for you about a nonprofit stepping up to help a fallen Burnsville Fire Department firefighter and paramedic. Aww. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation, Christy Miller reports in the Pioneer Press, is going to pay off Adam Finseth's mortgage. This is a fallen first responder home program. This foundation is based in New York, and this is just outstanding. They are stepping up to pay off the mortgage. Mortgage-free home is what they get, and just wonderful. You might remember Adam Finseth, along with Burnsville police officer Matt Ruge and Paul Elmstrand, were ambushed in a shooting. This was February of last year, domestic violence call. Finseth was supposed to be off on the 18th, but he was one of the 2 SWAT medics, and so he stepped right up. Good stuff from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. They were inspired by the September 11th terrorist attack, saying he acted without hesitation in his last moments. That is the lead. Page 2 is coming your way in just a minute, where we will take a look at the latest jobs report. Boy, if you've been thinking, why can't I find a job? Well, we have some insight as to what's going on. Should we be freaked out? Looking to the new year, what does this mean? Some surprising news about DOGE for me and federal government jobs. We'll talk about that with Pat Raycamp in just a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $99 furnace tune-up and safety check. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Hey, Minnesota fans, it's Benita. I'm out at the Verizon store in Woodbury, located at 245 Radio Drive until 6 o'clock today. Come say hi, talk football, and show your Minnesota pride. Plus, you could win great prizes when you're out here. Don't miss the fun. Join us today until 6 at the Verizon store in Woodbury, 245 Radio Drive. Verizon, your ticket to Minnesota football.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra. Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSH Hour News Headlines going in depth now as we look at the jobs report, the unemployment rate, a bit of a warning sign perhaps for the economy. To get some insight on this, we bring in Patrick Raycamp, the senior financial writer for 1834, which is a division inside Old National Bank. Patrick's a longtime financial writer who knows what's going on in the market. And you watch these reports carefully, Patrick. What's the biggest headline for you out of this?
I think there's two things. One, for November, the unemployment rate ticked up to 4.6%. That's up from 4.4% in September, which is the last time we got it. And then also, we had the October data come out too, and that showed a lot of the DOGE cuts from Elon Musk and the federal layoffs. That was over 160,000 for the month, which was a big number, even bigger than what the economists and a lot of the expectations were predicting.
Yeah, that federal government job cut. It's interesting because a lot of the discussion about DOGE over the last couple of weeks has been, it was sort of a nothing.
It was. That's what the thought was. Here was the thing, though. Within DOGE, if you took one of the federal buyouts, you weren't going to be included in any of the data because you were still getting paid through September. So now we're starting to see it's like, okay, now they're really coming off the books and what's going on. To date, I think since the beginning of the year, we're looking at about 270,000 federal job eliminations. That's big. That's a big number. But keep in mind, there's about 3 million federal employees. So it's still a single-digit percentage of the overall federal workforce.
The report also showed a big jump in sort of this slack, they call it, the labor market slack. People who are working part-time but wish they were working full-time. Which I work full-time, wish I were working part-time at the same pay. Is that an option?
You and me both.
Yeah, right. 8.7% in November. So these are people who don't show up as unemployed, but we would maybe say they're underemployed for what they want.
Sure. Right now, what's going on is the way we kind of classify this. It's a low hire, low fire job market. We're not seeing a ton of mass layoffs outside of the federal government numbers that we saw, but we're not seeing a ton of hiring either. A lot of companies are kind of sitting on their hands to see what's going to happen and waiting for 2026 to see which way the economy goes.
The White House is saying, look, yeah, like we knew this was happening. We wanted this to happen. This is setting us up as a country and as an economy to really be roaring next year.
That's kind of hard to say. 2026, what's going to happen, we don't know. But I definitely think that there are some tailwinds and things that look somewhat promising for the economy and the labor market. I think one thing is the Federal Reserve has now cut rates 3 times in a row. That should spur some business activity because it's going to make lending cheaper. I think also, too, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, as controversial as it was, there are going to be some incentives there for companies to spend some money and maybe do some hiring.
Is there, are there any positive signs? Obviously, the government job numbers end up overwhelming the data.
Yes.
But what's going on in the private sector, the private hiring market?
Healthcare. Anything healthcare related continues to add jobs month over month.
So tell your kids this is what you should be going to college for.
I think there's certainly some merit in that as the country gets older and sicker, which is certainly a dour way to look at it. But there's a lot of truth to it, and that sector of the economy continues to add jobs month over month.
Unemployment, teenagers are struggling.
Yes.
Which this is often a sign when you have a market that is, a jobs market that is tough. Well, certainly it's going to be really hard to get a job if you're 18, 19.
I think teenagers, Gen Zers, those have been very difficult in a lot of entry-level jobs in particular.
AI maybe? Or
I think AI is a real tough one. And the truth is nobody knows what's going to happen. But I think right now what AI is doing is it's holding off on some hiring plans. We haven't seen mass layoffs related to AI, at least yet. But that's kind of what's happening there.
Manufacturing sector shrank a little bit.
That's been going on forever, even though tariffs were supposed to bring jobs back for this. We haven't seen it yet.
That's a long-term thing, though,
It is.
right? Like
It
nobody
is.
just suddenly builds a plant and hires 1,000 people.
Those things take time and a lot of money to bring things back on shore. And again, it's a services-based economy, too, for the most part. Manufacturing jobs, this isn't the 1970s where we were all working in steel mills.
Right. No doubt about it. Unemployment rate rising is the biggest thing. We definitely are looking ahead and saying, all right, like this data kind of verifies what I think a lot of people have been feeling out there, which is if you're unemployed, it's tough. And if you have a job, now is not the best time in the world to tell your boss to cram it and go try to find a new job.
There's a lot of truth to that. We've seen, there's a different report that came out last week and it has the quits rate where it shows people moving around. That has come way down, especially just at the height of the pandemic when people were bouncing from jobs left and right.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. The stock market basically is saying, we knew all this, and the markets aren't really freaking out today.
Markets weren't freaking out. It was sort of more of a mushy middle report. Things weren't great. Things weren't cataclysmic either. I think it's a cooling, not collapsing labor market.
All right. Good stuff. Patrick Graycamp, appreciate you. Senior financial writer for 1834 inside of Old National Bank. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
All right, that is the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines. We got lots more still to come. Some of you have been wondering why I'm so dressed up. I will tell you in just a minute. Drive time sticking around until we get you to Henry Lake here on CCM.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
AI is playing a bigger role in car and truck development. Nissan is collaborating with British firm Monolith to use its AI platform to replace physical car testing, using the data to determine areas like tire wear, battery performance, and bolt tension before the new vehicles hit the test track. Tesla's Dojo supercomputer already compiles data on every virtual crash and stress test in one self-learning system. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/now. That's ethos.com/now.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
All right, right after the show, I'm going to be over at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It is my number one go-to spot when it comes to premium menswear. It's Jason DeRusha here for my friends at J.H. & Sons. The people over there are unreal. They are there to give you some advice. And let's be honest, guys, most of us need a little help when it comes to looking good. Maybe you're spending a little more time at the office, or maybe you're looking for something special for a date night on the town. Because I don't dress up at work as often, I do find myself trying to dress up for a night on the town. So today I'm dressed up because J.H. & Sons is having their big holiday party at their store, and you're invited. If you're around near the Galleria until 8 o'clock tonight, pop on by. They got my friend Phil Thompson, who's an unbelievably talented musician. Phil is playing. The store will be decked out in holiday splendor, and it's a great chance just to get to meet some of the folks who work for J.H. & Sons. I think of them as like my guy. I got a guy. When it comes to dressing well, we all can up our game. There's no shame in that. From quarter zips to great suits, unbelievable tailoring. Go visit the experts. You can sign up for their email list. It's a great way to know about events and plan ahead and be the first to know about sales as well at J.H. & Sons. They're at the Galleria. Stop on in. jhsons.com.
Hello, I'm Patrick Tucson, president of Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota. For 160 years, we've walked alongside Minnesotans, helping them overcome challenges and live with dignity. Every day, we empower our neighbors across the state to reach new possibilities for themselves. Your gift, LSS, opens the door to safe housing for youth, families, and individuals with disabilities, dependable childcare for parents, meals and companionship for older adults who want to live with greater independence, and so much more. You're not just helping individuals, you're creating real, lasting change. This holiday season, your support matters more than ever. Please give generously at lssmn.org/donate. That's lssmn.org/donate. Together, we change lives. Thank you.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic brought to you by American Rare Coin and Collectibles. Find them at AmericanRareCoinandCollectibles.com. On the east side, 52 northbound between Eden and Plato Boulevard in St. Paul. Several cars and police on the shoulder. The right lane is blocked. That area is down to 1 lane. 94 westbound at Huron Boulevard. 3 cars on the shoulder, slowing things back, so be prepared over there. If you've inherited valuable coins, gold, silver, or jewelry, where do you turn? American Rare Coin and Collectibles. For over 30 years, American Rare Coin has been purchasing valuable coin and precious metal collections with honesty, transparency, and immediate payment. American Rare Coin and Collectibles.com. That's a look at the drive. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm Mary Jo Copeland. Sharing and Caring Hands has been helping people in need for 41 years, thanks to your generosity. To learn more, to donate, go to sharingandcaringhands.org. Make a difference in the lives of others and give hope to the children. May God bless you all.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Sharing and Caring Hands. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A quiet night tonight, partly cloudy, 22 the overnight low. The wind is going to pick up again tomorrow, and we get another warm one with a high up around 38 degrees. Rain showers should pop around evening in the Twin Cities metro. Should stay rain as the temperatures stay mild. Thursday looks a little dicey. The wind will be even stronger from the northwest. Our temperatures drop throughout the day on Thursday, and we'll see some light snow. Generally less than an inch, but that wind will toy with it. Temperatures back in the 20s this weekend.
Still very nice, even though the sun has set. Right now in Brooklyn Park, it is 39 degrees on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
You are hitting on all cylinders today.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, a special wintertime Tuesday night live visit with our friend Dan Hayes on the Minnesota Twins beat, because Dan broke some news at theathletic.com today. Hi, Dan. How's it going?
Hi. I didn't even know we could talk on days other than Friday. Is this like legal?
I was also unsure about it, but Dan assures me it's fine. So
okay, cool.
I trust him. I don't know all, this radio bit for me. I don't know all the rules.
As long as we're in compliance, I'm good with it.
Can I still use that excuse after doing this show for what, 3.5? How long have we been doing this thing? I don't know. It's been long. I feel like I can use this excuse until I've done radio as long as I did TV. So I got another 17 years to go. You wrote about the ownership. I want to talk about a move the Twins made to sign some first baseman, Josh Bell. But get us up to date on the ownership situation, because I think a lot of us have been wondering what on earth has been taking the Twins so long to reveal who these sort of other people are, these other groups are that were buying into the Twins. Tell us everything you learned today.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think they're going to announce either Wednesday or Thursday. It's still waiting on that word, but I mean, it's going to come out and everybody's going to be like, okay, now what? It's going to be much ado about nothing. Look, what took so long is that when the Twins announced they were doing a partial sale, so many other limited partnerships. And that's one thing I think we talked about all the time, was that the Twins were not lacking for interest in small owners. What they were lacking was the guy that could write the big check, or the person that could write the 30 to 40% check. The rest of the group, they had plenty of little fish essentially. And so many little fish came out of the woodwork once a partial sale was announced that they had to keep getting approved. And one person that was helping run this said, this is a good thing. It just, we kept getting more and more interest. And so when it first got announced as a partial sale in August, it was going to be the two limited partnership groups, but now there's been enough interest to do a third. And so, nobody's suggested a percentage, but it wouldn't shock me if 30% of this club has sold. I've been told it was a significant sale. Either way, it's significant for a lot of reasons, because this team got $1.75 billion on the valuation, which was where their asking price roughly was. So that means that people are buying into the business of baseball. And the reason you know that is these ownership groups, nobody's asking for eventual control ownership of the team. Typically, when a person buys a team, there's a path to power. It's like what A-Rod and Laurie, there's no ask for that. So these people are investing into this team at $1.75 billion valuation, knowing that the value is going to go up soon. And even that's with all the stuff that's gone on behind the last 5 years, where the Twins, their debt has ballooned from probably about $200 million after the 2019 season to now here we are, where it's approaching $500 million. That's there's been a lot of behind the scenes, business not going the right way, things in their control, things out of their control. And yet these potential owners want to step up and purchase them. It says a lot about the direction MLB's business
baseball
is headed.
Overall, for sure. Yeah. You say rich people who are smart are saying, yeah, I do think the Minnesota Twins is potentially worth, you're getting close to $2 billion there. I mean, that is right. that's a good vote of support for the Pohlads and their position that the amount of money they were being offered or being able to get together was not going to be enough. My question, Dan, I want to ask about that debt number because there's a lot of skepticism in the fan base as to how the Twins as an organization could really be that much in debt. And is this other Pohlad business ventures rolled into that? Your reporting indicates it really is the Minnesota Twins that much in debt, right?
Yes, it is. And look, the Washington Nationals had the same exact thing happen. The Nationals won the 2019 World Series. They had a record high payroll at the time. They were expecting a huge windfall in 2020, fans coming to the stands. The Twins had the Bomba squad in 2019. They drew 2.3 million that year. They were hoping for 2.3 to 2.5 million people in 2020. Now, look, I gonna just throw the low end of what the average fan spends, and I Googled it, and so this is AI's guess, okay? But the average baseball fan spends like $75 a game. I don't know if that includes ticket, but here's the thing. Let's say it's just $50 a person, right? When you're expecting 2.3 to 2.5 million people to come in and spend $50 a person, that's a significant loss of revenue. So the Twins, yes, MLB put protections in for all its teams. They cut the payrolls in third. It doesn't matter. The Twins, that was supposed to be their big payday. And here's what happens. Anybody that has a credit card knows this. When you start piling up interest and you're only making minimum payments, that debt doesn't go away. It increases. And what happened is they had bad business. They had 2021 where there was restrictions on fans. They drew 1.3 million people that year. The team was terrible. The next year they signed they had 1.8, even though Correa was there. Correa comes back in 2023. Fans were slow to warm up to that team. They did get there at the end, but they drew 1.97 million fans, and then they right-sized the business and upset the fan base and cut payroll. There's been their own missteps. There's been stuff out of their control that you can't deal with. There's just no way to get around COVID. It all added up to about $300 million coming on in the last 5 years, and it's been a mess. And it's not made it easy. There's no question. And it's
and TV, and then the TV revenue collapse. I mean, you look at just last year, 1.77 million in attendance. If you take your $50 figure and being 500,000 people shy of where the team thinks they should be, that's $26.5 million right there. Plus what, 40 to $50 million in TV revenue dried up last year.
So we don't know what
the
TV
exact
revenue is. Right. But it used to be 60 million. And by the way, that was the low end of baseball at the time when they were getting 60 million. So they've always been short. Look, it's a mess. But despite
so you're like, you can see where the numbers would add up to the big whopping number that 500 million. Youch.
Yeah, it's just, look, and here's the thing. This is why I think that they may sell eventually. And I know that, the Pohlads have said we're committed to the team. It's hard to let go. But when you sell at least 20 to 30% of your club to these investors who are asking for nothing, we're just going to give you our money. Jason, I'm giving you, $175 million. Here you go. Put it in the team. My guess is those people are thinking they're going to get a nice return on investment in the next couple of years because national TV payments are going to start hitting in 2029. Franchise values should go up after the new CBA.
Right.
It makes sense that they would sell in 2 to 3 years and probably sell for $2.1 billion or more. And those people are going to make a ton of money. That's just my guess. Again, the Pohlads have said nothing about that. They've made it clear they want it. They're committed to owning. But, you just do the math, and why would these people jump in without asking to buy the team?
And it's not,
just doesn't make sense.
It's straight up a financial thing, as we talk with Dan Hayes from The Athletic. These investors aren't saying we think the Twins are going to win. These investors are saying we think the value of a Major League Baseball club is going to continue to go up.
Absolutely, and it has. I mean, this is why when Carl and Eloise Pohlad bought this team for $44 million, here we are talking about a $1.75 billion valuation 40 years later. It's pretty good business.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You just have to go with the ups and downs that happen, and there are.
And they will
probably a
get
lot
some
of
seats on the board, right? So part of the question we've been wondering is like, okay, will canceling out the debt make the team? This is where things actually matter to fans, I think. Will canceling out that debt make the team a little more willing to take a flyer on a free agent or try to spend some money?
I mean, they definitely are listening to these new ownership groups. Clearly, though, they still have the final say because at the end of the day, the poll ads are in power here.
Yeah.
They remain in power.
70% is 70%. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, all of this is probably why we've heard, and to get to the other part of this, Josh Bell. This is probably why we've heard Derek Falvey and Jeremy Zoll's message change so much over this last month, which was, a month ago we were at the GM meetings in Vegas. It was like, we want to keep and build around Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez and Byron Buxton, but we're not sure. And now, at the winter meetings last week, it was, we're going to do this. We actually have gotten clarity on our situation. And what did they do? Within 5 days, they signed Josh Bell, who is not a world beater, but he's a good signing for this team. It's a 1-year, $7 million deal. And he's going to give them a formidable bat in the middle of the lineup, a veteran guy, a guy who Derek Shelton knows from Pittsburgh is going to be good for the clubhouse and can hit home runs and doesn't break the bank. And so I think when you look at it, it's all connected. Clearly things are at least, the Twins did a lot of dirty work essentially to trade all those players last season, get rid of the Carlos Correa. They're in a much cleaner fiscal spot than they were 6 months ago. And so, it's very minimal what we're going to see. Maybe they add 20 million in payroll from the 95 million they were at. And I know fans aren't going to be thrilled at that. It's understandable that fans aren't going to be thrilled at that, but there is something to it versus continuing to tear down and having to wait for down the road for hope.
When we hear that Bell is the most expensive free agent in 3 years, I mean, I don't know that that's that great, right? Like, I mean, $7 million is not an eye-popping number.
I mean, Shohei Ohtani had like more deferred on one day of his salary, basically. So but the Twins have always known this is their market. It's why Carlos Correa was it was eye-popping to see them do that at the time, right?
Yeah.
They always get their guys and they extend them within house. They don't go out and make those kind of expenditures. And I mean, here and there, but yeah, the Twins, Nelson Cruz was one of their biggest free agent signs, and that was like $15 million or $14 million. That was a couple of years ago, but it's not going to be like, oh boy, they went out and really opened the wallet here to do this. But it was a very good spend. Like, it was a very good use of dollars. They did this with Carlos Santana 2 years ago.
Yep.
They turned that into a ton of value. Harrison Bader last year, Danny Coulombe, Ty France. They're good at like finding guys in this kind of market that essentially help them out. And the fact, I think the most shocking part of this is it's done so early. I don't remember a Twins free agent signing probably this early since maybe, I think on the day of the before the lockout, the day they signed or extended Byron Buxton, they also signed the pitcher from Baltimore. It was like Dylan Bundy, like a $5 million contract. The Twins usually are signing in January and February. So, this is a good message just to get out there. I think people recognize the Twins are not trading guys away. And if they do, it's going to be, if they trade Joe Ryan at this point, it's going to be because the return was so overwhelming that it helped the major league club, I think, in multiple spots immediately, which is probably what, I think that's their only way they're really looking to do stuff.
Really appreciate the visit. You saw a movie this afternoon? Is that what I heard? What movie did you see?
Oh, man. Oh, okay. It's called Rebuilding, and it's about the Colorado wildfires. But immediately, we went out for a little walk and like a hike, and then I saw the movie title, what we're going to see, and I was like, this is too funny. We're going on the day, that put that Twins news out there.
Right. Gonna go see Rebuild It. Was it any good?
It was great. And it was not, I expected to see Derek Falvey on my screen. He was not. So
different rebuilding. different disasters. I mean, disasters in both scenarios for sure. Very good. Dan Hayes, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There he goes. Dan Hayes with us. A little take. I mean, with the weather today, why not? Sort of feels like, well, let's not get carried away. It's 40 degrees.
There's a little springiness, though.
There,
It's going to be 40. It's often 40 degrees on opening day at the Target Field. So.
You're not wrong. Drive Time back in just a minute here on CC.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Do not wait until the new year. Take action today to make yourself the version of yourself that you've always dreamed of. It's Jason here from my friends at Livia Weight Control Center. Livia is working so hard right now to give you the best deal possible and the best chance to lose the weight and keep that weight off for good. Holiday savings have been in effect for a couple weeks now. But I just got word that this offer is going to end soon. GLP-1s are just $99. That's a crazy price. But the money is going to feel like nothing when you achieve the healthier you, the more energetic you, the getting better sleep you. I know all of these things firsthand because Livia helped me lose 45 pounds, and I've kept that weight off now for 3 years. I hit my goal right around Christmas. So you can do it in the middle of the holidays. In fact, I think it's easier to get started today instead of waiting until after the new year. 855-GO-LIVIA is the number. Livia.com, Livea.com, that $99 GLP-1 price. The award-winning nutrition program, it's always there for you. The medical support. But go see my experts at Livia.
There's a difference between buying stuff you don't need this holiday season and buying...
Whoa, a 30-foot blow-up Santa for the roof? I have a roof.
Hey, good luck with your budget this Christmas with Bloomberg Money Reports every morning on News Talk 830 WCCO. Cha-ching.
Whether picking up a prescription, getting help navigating the healthcare system, or checking in at home, CVS Health is there to make care easier and more connected. Our future is brighter together. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here for you when you need us most. When your heat goes out, waiting isn't an option. That's why we offer same-day and next-day availability for no heat emergencies. From furnaces that won't start to systems struggling to keep up, our technicians are in the business of getting your home and family warm, fast. Don't sit in the cold. Schedule now. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930. Online at standardheating.com.
Hey, Minnesota fans, it's Benita. I'm out at the Verizon store in Woodbury, located at 245 Radio Drive until 6 o'clock today. Come say hi, talk football, and show your Minnesota pride. Plus, you can win great prizes when you're out here. Don't miss the fun. Join us today until 6 at the Verizon store in Woodbury, 245 Radio Drive. Verizon, your ticket to Minnesota football.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 36 East. 2 cars got tangled up between 35W and Highway 51. Expect some delays over there. 694 is jammed in both directions between 35W and East River Road. Could cost you up to 15 minutes on that delay. Still have a problem on 52 northbound between Eaton Street and Plato Boulevard in St. Paul. The right lane is blocked and they're down to 1 lane. Be prepared for a big delay over there. Things are crawling. That's a look at the drive. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast from Chris Schaefer tonight. Still pretty warm. We only get down to 22 degrees. Tomorrow, another warm one, 38. The high, so warm we could get rain tomorrow night. Thursday, light snow, less than an inch. And the high temperature will be in the morning. Temperatures will fall all day. The low will be 2 degrees. The average high this time of year is 28. Right now it's 40 on CC.
This is News Talk 830 WCCO. Broadcasting live from the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Studio. Single game tickets are on sale now at worldjuniorsmn26.com.
Dan sent me a story this morning from Maine. And I have several questions for you about this story, Dan, because
my answer is, how dare they?
Well, it's outrageous.
It's completely outrageous.
Maine, the state, more loons are filling Maine's lakes with their ghost-like calls. The people in Portland, Maine are fascinated by these adult loons.
They don't get to have our loons. That's our bird.
Maine lawmakers have tried to grow the population of loons by banning lead fishing tackle.
Well, I mean, that's okay. That's good.
They're trying to preserve the loons. Minnesota has the most loons.
As we should.
You got Tom Emmer and Tim Walsh.
No. Different kind of loon.
There's a stable population, it says here, of about 12,000 adults. You got Michelle Bachman.
No. Wrong kind of loon.
What are we talking about?
But I understand your confusion.
I mean, do we have the most loons in the lower 48? Well, the bird, sure. I'll say yes. Yeah, that was just a long setup for me to make a loon joke. I hope you enjoyed it. That's what we do sometimes, right? Dan and I will be back tomorrow with more of this grade A material. Hard to believe we get paid for this. Yeah, it is. Henry Lake is next. Stick around.